Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. So in this video, I will explain about different types of tests. So before I start, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever taken a test and wondered why there are so many different types of tests? Well, in education, tests are not only used to give scores, they are used to measure students' knowledge, skills, and learning process. They also help teachers understand students' abilities and improve the learning process. So, in these presentations, I will explain 5 types of tests. There is achievement test, proficiency test, placement test, diagnosis test, and aptitude test. So, the first is achievement test. An achievement test is used to measure what students have learned after studying a particular subject or lesson. This test is based on the material that has been taught in the classroom. It is usually given after the learning process to check students' understanding. For example, midterm tests and final exams. These tests measure how well students understand the lessons they have studied during the semester. Another example is a quiz, which is usually shorter and given after a specific topic to check students' understanding. The second is proficiency test. A proficiency test measures a person's overall ability in a language. This test is not based on a specific lesson or course. It focuses on general language skills such as listening, reading, speaking, and writing. For example, like TOEFL and IELTS. These tests are often used when someone wants to study or work abroad. They show how well a person can use English in real situations, not just in the classroom. Next, the third is placement test. A placement test is used to determine student level before they start a course. Since students have different abilities, this test helps teachers place them into the correct level, such as beginner, intermediate, or advanced. For example, when you join an English course, you usually take a test first. Based on the results, you will be placed in the class that matches your level, so you can learn more effectively. Next is diagnostic test. A diagnostic test is used to identify students' strengths and weaknesses in learning. It helps teachers understand what difficulties students have. For example, students may have problems with the grammar, vocabulary, or pronunciations. And then, for example, a grammar diagnostic test can show which grammar topics students do not understand well. After that, the teacher can focus more on those topics to help students improve. Next is aptitude test. An aptitude test measures a person's potential ability to learn something in the future. This test does not focus on what students already know, but it tries to predict how well they can learn a new skills. For example, in a language aptitude test, students may be asked to remember sounds or patterns. This helps predict how easily they can learn a new language. Okay, so in conclusions, different types of tests have different purpose in education. Achievement tests measure what students have learned. Proficiency tests measure overall language ability. Placement tests determine students' levels. Diagnostic tests identify learning difficulties. And aptitude tests measure the potential to learn. By understanding these tests, teachers can evaluate students more effectively and support the learning process. So that's all for me. I apologize if I have a mistakes. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.